What does it mean to be a part of a whole, part of something bigger than yourself? A number of summers ago, a congregant was recovering from breast cancer, a double mastectomy. It was a long recovery. One day that summer, another congregant shows up at her door, someone she had never met before, a member of our caring community team. She brought with her a healing shawl that members of the caring community had knitted for her. She didn't know what to expect when she took the shawl from the bag, but she told me that when she wrapped it around herself, she felt the healing power in that shawl, the warmth, the hug. Through each strand of the shawl, she felt the community holding her while she healed. Each of those fibers show us in that moment how interwoven we are as a community. It's extraordinary. She wore that shawl most of the summer and felt the love and power of the community every time she put it on. In this moment of COVID-19, we're experiencing loss. The missed opportunity to spend time with friends after school drop-off, not being able to sit together in the sanctuary or classroom, the lack of physical touch, the loss of a job, and the most painful type of loss, our friends and family and members of the congregation have passed away from COVID-19. There's a hole, and it's real. So as I begin my time as president of the board of TBE in the midst of a pandemic, I wrestle with this question. What does it mean to be a part of a community? What does it mean to create a shawl that's big enough, interwoven enough to bind us together? The good news is that to answer this question, I don't have to go far. I can just ask members of our community, watch our clergy, professional and administrative staff, and our lay leadership do what they do. A congregant of 30 years writes, before the pandemic, we made it a habit to attend Friday evening services when we're around on the weekends. Since the pandemic, we've only missed 2 Shabbat services. It's a weekly marker of comfort and connection, reminding us that we are not alone in this. And we are learning this and we're hearing this message across generations. For a family with preschool children who's used to walking into the building 5 days a week, our community is accessible in an entirely different way. They've gone from rarely being with us Friday night to setting up a laptop at the dinner table, eating Shabbat dinner, and logging on to services. As she shared with me, seeing other people who are all experiencing the same thing, everybody is pausing, looking to Judaism and this community to give them hope. Our learning programs are taking on a new urgency. Something is happening at TBE every day of the week, and engagement is higher than ever across all generations. From healing and art, Broadway music, to studying Abraham Joshua Heschel. Again, we hear these words from our congregants. I don't feel alone. I feel I have a connection. When we see other participants and listen to what they have to say, the messages they have to share reminds us that there are good people doing good things, and that confirms our hope. I've always been proud that when our community answers the question of what it means to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, we don't forget that that means a responsibility to someone other than ourselves. We have reached out. Pre-pandemic, our building was a site to collect food for those in need. Now, our family table volunteers have made it possible to purchase items for the food pantry through an Amazon wish list. And we've collected more than ever. Our efforts on climate change, racial justice, and voter registration have not missed a beat. And we have reached in to strengthen the strands of our shawl. Over 100 volunteers have given countless hours to reach out to others in our community. And during this uncertain time, through both our annual campaign and the first stage of TBE's endowment campaign, our community stepped forward to support our efforts in ways we could not have imagined. Our campaign thrived and we pushed forward. We are in a better place financially than we would have been last year, thanks to the generosity of our congregants. We are a resilient community, but resilience is not just about surviving and thriving in the present, but about reflection and learning and becoming stronger for the future. We have learned how to reach people who don't or can't just walk into the sanctuary. We have learned that the strands of our shawl can be from next door, or they can be from halfway around the world in Haifa at our sister congregation, Ohel Abraham, where through Zoom and WhatsApp, we find friendship and common purpose in the strength of our shared peoplehood. We learn this by not being afraid to try new things. We learn because this moment forced us to make choices about what is most important to us. Imagine it's this past March. Your son is about to become a bar mitzvah. All the plans are in place. And imagine you walk out of your final rehearsal in the sanctuary and you get a call from Cantor Zell, who sadly tells you what perhaps you already know, that the bar mitzvah service, as you had envisioned it, can't happen in the building. How do you feel about November? In the summer, the family decided not to wait, to pivot, to focus on making sure as much of their family as possible, including all 6 grandparents, could be with them in person, maintain the elements of the service that were most critical, and hold the service in their backyard. Friends, family, and Rabbi Sapphire on Zoom with lots of Ethernet cable. Ethan, our bar mitzvah, embraced the change, that he was breaking new ground while sustaining the traditions of our people. Isn't that what becoming a bar mitzvah is about? For TBE, just like our bar mitzvah, this moment, and I quote Ethan's family, is an accidental opportunity to reignite a unique relationship with Judaism. We should take it. And in doing so, we should embrace the words of the well-known Jewish sage, Henry Winkler, who said, "I live by 2 words, tenacity and gratitude." With tenacity, let us lean into all that we've learned to ensure that once this crisis is behind us, the new ways we've discovered to strengthen our shawl not only stay with us, but empower us to continue to be the innovative community we have always been. And with gratitude, we are an extraordinary community that supports each other in often unimaginable ways. Yet all the programming, worship, the creation of a virtual Makom, which happened in about 3 days in March when the shutdown happened, High Holy Days on Zoom, it doesn't just happen. And I know you all know this. These past 7 months, our incredible clergy, professional and administrative staff, and lay leadership have brought their energy, passion, and commitment every day. And I mean every day. Being in this work with them, with all of you, is the greatest honor of my lifetime. As we turn towards the new year, I'd like to ask all of us to reflect on 3 questions. What does it mean to be one strand in the incredible fabric of this community? What do we each need from TBE, and how can we be unafraid to reach out? And what can we each bring to TBE and step forward with intention? That is how we will continue to knit together our shawl and together find our path towards wholeness for each individual, our community, and our world. Shana Tova.